Okay, I am awake and I am moving and I have stretched and I feel better. Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Last night, well, it was kind of stressful. Last night I drove until I got to this place, which was kind of dark when I got here, and I was all alone, and I didn't know that this was exactly the right spot because sometimes a pin can be a little off on iOverlander, but ultimately this was in fact the right spot. I compared photos to where I was parking, and so I was like, okay, here we go. It was so quiet, and then I kind of settled in and it was still so quiet. And normally I love a good quiet campsite, but it was almost like that eerie quiet, and you're kind of isolated from the rest of the world with these mountains that are kind of surrounding. It's flat everywhere that I was driving, and then all of a sudden I was just surrounded by these mountains. If I did not have cell service last night, I would not have stayed here. I had 2 bars of LTE, and then when I got in the back, it kind of was hit or miss 2 or 1 bar. It was enough to know that I was safe in telling someone where I was, and so I knew that my pin would work for people who track where I am, and then also I was able to get out a call to Riley and let her know. Of course, she has my emergency contacts and everything if something goes weird, so it's fine. In addition, my parents could figure out where I was, so everybody was good. But I got in the back, I ate my little pizza that I treated myself with, and then I was just so mentally exhausted that I just basically watched a couple of videos and then went to sleep. I was so just sad about that campsite yesterday because it was so pretty, but it's not worth it. It is not worth it. So this morning I am now up and alive and getting ready to go, and I don't know where I'm going to go today exactly. I think I'm going to head up to Thermopolis. There's a couple of places in Thermopolis I want to go. Also, I need to go dump trash because I did all my water this morning. I was going to do it last night, but by the time that I left the other campsite because I didn't feel safe, and then I also got here, it was dark. And I need to be able to kind of stand outside to pour more evenly. It's harder to do it inside the van. So I just waited till this morning, got everything finished, and now it's time for me to figure out my next steps. But with that said, I have been through the elements and my poor lips are dying. So no matter how much sunscreen, no matter how much of this I've been putting on it between the wind, the sun, and all the other craziness with the altitude, I'm a struggle bussin' today. So I think I'm gonna start my day off by going to the Wyoming Dinosaur Center, which is in Thermopolis. It's about a 36-minute drive according to this. Also, I've noticed something kind of weird. My CarPlay works by tying into my phone through a USB Type-C cord. And I have this really nice one that I just bought. It's already messed up. So it shows and then it does this. See that? Empty screen, empty screen. It says that it's Bluetooth connected, but not through CarPlay. But the issue with this is that the screen is much smaller, so it doesn't like scream at me quite as much whenever I'm tired. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to get a new cord at some point, so maybe I'll find a Walmart. I know where a good Walmart is. I'm going to stay at a Walmart in Cody before I go into Yellowstone, so I'll get a new cord there. So in the next few days, a new cord is in my future for sure, so I need to add that to my list. But also, I have a couple of other things that I'll need to get before I go into Yellowstone, so I'll just make a little laundry list of things that I need to do. I still have a few days before I'm going to go in, so this will give me time to really think about those things, so that's good. Just drove through Thermopolis, like the proper part of it, and oh my gosh, so many cool things. Let's talk about it. The Dinosaur Center, amazing. I know not everybody likes dinosaurs, but I am geeked out by going and seeing something cool. And I was able to pick up a bunch of interesting information for my trip through Yellowstone and Cody and those areas. So I have all of that now because they have these little visitors kiosks kind of around. So that's going to help me out tonight. I like to always Google, but it's nice to see what they actually have going on, and they put them in publication. And I got a dinosaur book from my mom. This was actually free, believe it or not. Whenever I went in there, they have like the kiosk with all the cool stuff, and they had this, and I was like, what is that? And the girl was like, they're free, you can get one of these. And I was like, what? Now I did spend like $22 going on a tour of a dig site and also learning a ton. I was there from, let's see, the tour started at noon. It is now 2:30. So I spent about 2.5 hours, including the tour, which was like an hour and 15. So it was a good place. It was a great place. And I think that you could come and see the center by itself, but then if you want to really understand the center more, go on the tour. You don't have to drive to it. They drive you up to the site. It's a really interesting way to get comfortable with some other people real quick. But also, the guide that I had was epic. She was so awesome. She's actually from Missouri area. She is going to school there, and she's going to become a paleontologist, and her tour was so good. I was just so impressed, and I had such a good time. And on the tour also, I met some other people who had been to Montana, and they went to a sapphire mine and told me I should go do that. And I was like, don't mind if I do. So I guess we're going to Montana, which I already kind of planned on doing anyway. I want to go and see my friends Charles and Tony over there. So at some point in the near future, I'm going to go over to the Kalispell area and say, what up? But I'm kind of tired now. I'm kind of tired. Not gonna lie, it was a great day, but I'm kind of tired. You know, this morning I started off real slow, moving very like, oh, because yesterday was super stressful, and now I'm in a much better place, but at the same time, I am now needing a nappy poo. But it's too hot in the van to take a nap, so we're gonna have to do something else instead. So I think I'm gonna go back into Thermopolis, and there is a hot spring park here. It's a state park. I kind of want to go see it. I don't know much about it. I know that there are showers there. Somebody told me about it when I was in Lander. So I'm thinking I'm going to go over there. I'm going to see if I can take a dip in the hot spring, which it's warm outside, so that might be short-lived, but that's okay. It'll feel real good on my body. My body is aching. And then I'm going to take a shower. Okay, I made it to the Hot Springs Park, and that looks cool. Yeah, this is going to be epic. I have no idea what all I'm going to find here, so if it turns into something cool, I'll do a video. If it turns into just this, I'll just show this. What? Ooh, I'm getting a free shower. Yeah, I'm doing a video about this. Just yeah, watch it. You'll learn how to get a free shower here in Thermopolis, but also something really cool. Ooh, I soaked. I took a shower. I feel good. So many free things today. Okay, I made it back to the van. I'm having some grapes. Refreshing. After today, I needed this. I forgot to eat breakfast. I forgot to eat lunch. Not my most rock star day that I've had when it comes to remembering to do the normal things that you're supposed to do. So I'm definitely going to have to make a really delightful dinner of some kind, but I'm not exactly sure where my nighttime is going to be spent just yet. I'm not sure. I haven't decided if I want to go back to the place I was at last night or if I want to try to go closer to Riverton, because tomorrow I'm going to be going to an event there, and whenever I go there, it would be easier if I was already in the area. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the next few minutes eating my grapes, figuring out what all I'm going to do tomorrow, because they have free Wi-Fi here. Yep, that sounds like a plan. Okay, so I have a couple options. I just went through all of the iOverlander sites. I went through all of the campsites, and I think I decided I'm gonna do something a little weird. I'm gonna double back. I'm gonna go to Lander again. I have stayed at Lander Park for the first couple nights of my trip, but then I went away and I was just looking, and the lake option that I went to yesterday is an option, but I'm kind of afraid that that guy's still going to be there. So I was like, There is another small lake, but whenever I went past that one, when I was driving, I did not love the camping there. It was very overgrown, and right now it's very warm, so there's lots of snakes. So nope, don't like that. Last night I had a good spot, but my service was, it was okay, but it wasn't great. It was 1 bar or 2 bars. Some of that could have been the storm, but at the same time, like, I felt pretty out there to not have good service, you know? And so I always try to like, do I like this? Do I not? The way that I was isolated was a little weird, just a little weird. Really nice spot. It was cool, but at the same time, like, at the same time, that doesn't put me where I need to be tomorrow. I need to be in Riverton tomorrow, and I looked at the available campsites around Riverton, and number one, a lot of them are booked up. Just outright booked up because they're doing a very special event, which is why I'm going tomorrow. Number two, there aren't as many free campsites available, and the one that I could like fall back on is a casino. But when I cross-referenced from iOverlander to some other places that I look, I noticed that some people were saying that depending on the amount of traffic, like if there's a special event or something, sometimes you have a little bit of a harder time staying there. So I didn't want to just like put all my eggs in one basket and then be like, no! So instead I decided I think I'm going to double back and go back to Lander. I love Lander. It is so nice, and they will get a little bit more of my money because I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my evening there. But in the morning, I think I'm going to go back by that Safeway and pick up some more of that bow tie pasta salad. It was so good. $3.95. Gas was $3.37. Okay, I've got my bathing suit laid out. I have my towel laid out so it can all dry. And I am back. So my initial goal was to get here. I succeeded. My secondary goal was to download all my things and put them onto hard drives. And I don't know that I'm going to be as successful at that. I kind of hit a wall. And I think it's just because I've been packing so much into each day so far. And I've just been going nonstop. It's been amazing. And that's the best way to say it. It's just amazing. This world is so beautiful. And today, whenever I was driving back from Thermopolis toward Lander, I just kind of had this moment where I was just like, wow, this is incredible. And I cannot express enough how much that being on the road has the ability to show you so many amazing things if you're willing to take the time and look. The things that I did today with the dinosaurs and then also with the hot springs, those are two things that are just very vastly different, but both are very much an enrichment in very different ways. And I love days like that. I like to diversify my days so I'm not just doing one thing consistently. I don't like to just go to museums on one day, unless you're like in DC or something like that, in which case those museums are so vastly different that it feels like a different world each time. But like whenever I'm on the road like this, I like to experience cities uniquely and see them for what they have to offer and do as many of those things as I can. And Thermopolis had a museum also, and they had a historic cabin, and they had a few other interesting things as well. But I wanted to leave those because I know I will be back, and I'm going to be back with one of my friends. I told Riley about it and she was like, oh my gosh, I need to come here. So I'm just making an ongoing bucket list, not only for myself, but also for my friends. And I think that's awesome, but I'm hoping it's also helping you guys with your ongoing bucket list. There's no way I can express how much that being on the road has allowed me to get so much more knowledge, to feel so much more alive, and so much less stressed. And finishing out my day next to this beautiful river, man. Me from a few years back, before I started this, would have never envisioned that I'd be in a van down by the river. But more so, me from a few years back would have never envisioned that I'd have some of the cool experiences that I had. Today I interacted with so many amazing humans, from our tour guide, who was just awesome, to this man who had a basset hound at a random gas station that bellowed at you so you'd come and pet its little head. It's pretty nice to just like live in the moment. And even though I do make some plans so I'll kind of know where I'm going so I can download maps, I try not to set myself so far in stone that if I see something I can't just like turn off, you know? I want to be able to see a brown sign and be like, ooh, I can make time for this. Yesterday was a prime example of that whenever I found the 2 veterans memorials as I was just kind of driving around, and then I found the fish hatchery, which I wasn't expecting to find. Let yourself have flexibility and enjoy yourself, and you never know what you're going to find. Maybe you'll be living down by a river someday. But in all reality, remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Thanks for coming along for my day today. I hope that you picked up a few little bucket list items on your own, and make sure you check out those dedicated videos for those locations for a little bit more of an in-depth look. And I'll see you next time. Bye.